So welcome back to Women Are Magical by Unicorn Landing. My name is Candace and I'm the founder of Unicorn Landing. Welcome to episode 3. We're finally getting the ball rolling again. Today we are going to talk about why I believe that women thrive in non-monogamy and kind of like the empowerment that comes with it and why it gives women this like kind of new sense of like power and freedom and exploration that they kind of maybe have never experienced in life. So let's talk about why I think that a lot of women really thrive in non-monogamy. And no, it's not for everybody. I do understand that. But if you are thinking of taking the step into non-monogamy, think about these things and why it can really be empowering. Thank you for checking out the Women Are Magical podcast. Remember, this content is for 18 and over, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So for a lot of people, monogamy is really misunderstood. A lot of people obviously assume that it's an excuse to cheat. You're unhappy in your relationship, you're not being satisfied, your partner's not enough for you. There's so many things that go into, what society thinks of non-monogamy. And for those of us that have been in the this world, the lifestyle world, we understand that is not the case at all. But it's kind of breaking those stereotypes. And for a lot of people, monogamy is not just about sex. It's a lot more about the kind of empowerment that comes with it. For me, yes, of course, sex can be fun and everyone knows that. And yes, sex can feel good. But for me, I think it is more like the empowerment and freedom and confidence that it has given me over the years is so much more important to me than the actual sex part. And I am kind of an attention whore, I'll admit it. I thrive off of kind of the high that it brings. I'm very ADHD. So I think there's a lot of things that like non-monogamy can bring to women that is a lot more than just sex. People always like, oh, you just want to get railed out, pounded by other dudes, or your husband must be a cock, blah, blah, blah. And for me, it's so much more than that, so much more. I wanted to explore my sexuality. I wanted to kind of feel like I had the control and the power and was able to kind of make those, decisions for myself and set boundaries. And so for me, it was so much more than just the actual act of sex. I always joke that we went to a club a few weeks ago and we met this really fun couple and we were chatting for a while and then there was flirting and then she was flirting with me and then he was flirting. And they wanted to play, and it was the whole evening, and we're feeling sexy, and I'm being touched and kissed by these other people, and my husband's doing the same with her. And so it was kind of that whole part was fun. And then we were trying to decide where to play, and there was nowhere to play, so we left the club. And though we weren't sneaking, you're allowed to leave. It just felt we were joke. We're teenagers running off to back to our hotel room because luckily the hotel was down the street. And then we came back and we were all still flirting the rest of the evening after the play experience. And I was just kind of on this high of feeling myself. And it was Eric and I were really feeling each other. I don't know, the whole aspect. So for me, it was so much more than the actual sex itself. Of course that was fun. But I always joke that wasn't even my favorite part of the evening. Don't get me wrong. I like to go down on women. So that can always be my favorite. And I was very attracted to both of them and very attracted to him, which is rare for me. It's rare for me to really be into men. And so, that part was really fun. But the actual act of sex itself wasn't the whole highlight of the night. For me, it was just everything else that comes along with it and kind of feeling empowered and sexy. So that is one of the things that I love about the lifestyle and why I feel it's so much more than just sex. So also for non-monogamy, a lot of women, it gives women this kind of new sense of freedom and breaking those double standards. So society has always told us, we're supposed to be good, quiet women and, be good mothers, be good wives. And that's all we really are. But for a lot of women, we thrive to be so much more. And when your kids are younger, for me, it was just that's your focus. It's routines and kids and dinners and kids, you know what I mean? It just always is in a routine. So when your kids get a little bit older, I feel like a lot of people kind of really get this new sense of just wanting a little bit more out of life and wanting to kind of find themselves. You really kind of get lost in motherhood or lost in being a part, things like that. And also society is always when men are dating multiple women on apps, it's, it's all okay. But when women are doing it, it's told us it's wrong, it's slutty, it's, inappropriate. Like, why does our body count matter, but men's don't? Like, there's always just been this double standard. And so non-monogamy can kind of reverse that. And yes, to the outside world and society in general, it's still going to be probably frowned upon by some people. But when you're in the non-monogamous community, you are all of a sudden meeting people like you who are understanding and accepting. And when you're getting into this with your partner, all of a sudden you have a partner. You're doing things consensually and together, and it doesn't feel as wrong when all of a sudden there's people around you that are doing it. Sometimes I always laugh that I forget that everyone is not non-monogamous. Like, I'll go hang out in a vanilla setting or with, a group of people, and I laugh because I'm like, oh, you guys don't do this? Like, I can't remember. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around because I'm so used to being around people who are open about it. And I think it does desensitize you a little bit. I'm a little more desensitized to lifestyle clubs, things like that. I explain to, a lot of my friends what goes on in lifestyle clubs, or people are just like fucking in beds and you just like see them. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm in clubs and like people just walk up to you naked and like there's just a dick right there and you're like, hey, and it's like, I forget that it's not like that for everybody. But being able to be around such like-minded people kind of does help you break that stigma and get over that trauma that kind of comes along with it. A lot of people might have this like some guilt or religious trauma. And so it can really kind of help you feel empowered and not feel so like you're doing something wrong, you're dirty, when you find out that there's a whole community of people doing these exact same things and having a good time of it and not judging you for it.
Are you a female interested in the swinger lifestyle? Come join us at Unicorn Landing, the first community built for women by women in the swinger lifestyle. It's your space to connect with other open-minded women, make real friendships, share your experiences, and discover what feels right to you. No pressure, no labels, just authenticity, support, and empowerment. Whether you're curious, experienced, or just starting your journey, Unicorn Landing is your landing place. Come join all us girlies today. Download the app on iOS or Google Play or visit unicornlanding.com to learn more, because every woman deserves a space where she can explore freely and feel like they belong.
So non-monogamy also lets women and men, but we're talking about mostly women here, kind of explore their bisexual side. So, for a lot of us, these might have been feelings that we had when we were younger, and we were, we repressed these feelings. Of course, I've always been attracted to women, but I just thought everybody was. Or you get drunk and you kiss your friends. I had a few experiences, and like one in high school, and then a couple in college, and I really always excited. Like, I was excited by it, and I used to find myself being very like jealous of bisexual or lesbian women, because they could be so open about that. And so kind of once you get to that point where you finally kind of come out as your partner, and that's a whole nother topic on a podcast. The next podcast is about opening up to your partner and the fear that comes around that, and kind of how to do that. But when you get to open up about your sexuality and be authentic to yourself and to your partner and to those people around you, I don't know. So the non-monogamy world gives you a chance to, be bisexual and explore that side while also still being with your partner who you love. Like, I love my partner. I love my husband. But I also love women. And for me, I just couldn't imagine not getting to explore both now. Now that I have, people ask me all the time, or will ask us, like, if one of you wanted to stop, would you do it? And I think I could be okay not being with other men. Now, I do enjoy the flirting and the high and whatever, but being told no. But I don't think that if it was like, you can't ever talk to another woman or, whatever, I would have a hard time with that, because it's something that I really enjoy. And also in our situation, we went into it in the beginning of our relationship with me being open about my sexuality. It's not like something like we have been married for 20 years and I came out and all of that. So for me, it would be like, hey, you knew this from the beginning. So a little different in our situation, but yeah, it's just given me such like the ability to live my authentic self. Non-monogamy has, because I still consider myself like I consider our relationship to be pretty monogamous. We we do 99% of our life is very monogamous, very normal, kids stuff, activities, traveling, non-lifestyle things, chilling on the couch at night, making dinner, whatever it may be. But then there's that little bit of extra spice. So I think for me, it's I get to live both worlds and it kind of explore both. And so for me, it's been really empowering and satisfying in that sense. It feels that little bit of like need that I felt was missing in a lot of my past relationships. I didn't realize that non-monogamy, I did tell my ex that I liked women and kind of wanted to explore that. We had a lot of other issues. We never kind of like took that step, and he was a little he was just insecure about it, and, other issues that we had. But he probably would have if he probably would have explored that with me had it been done in a different way, or when we weren't having other issues. But yeah, so for me, it's given me that like kind of always what I felt like was missing in relationships or missing from my life, was to explore my sexuality and get the chance to be with women and share that with my partner. And so that part has been really, really great expectations of other people, and you just don't really care. I think the further you get along in your lifestyle journey, you care less and less, because a lot of people are like, what if family finds out? What if kids find out? You don't have to share what you do in the bedroom with anybody else. So getting to just, do that authentically has been amazing. So another part of what is great about non-monogamy for women and in general, I mean for everybody, but I think specifically for women in general, I think we really struggle with like community. And I know that I do. Making friends, finding people. A lot of my friends are in different stages of life with kids. I kind of just, one of my kids, just went off to college, and I share custody with my other. So I kind of joke I'm like a new half empty nester. And just, as my kids have gotten older now, it's kind of like trying to find like myself and my community and people that I really, thrive with and, connect with. And so the lifestyle has given me the opportunity to meet an amazing group of women and just people from all over. I've met people from all over the world. And I can say world now because we did go to Europe and meet some people, and we've had, met people that have traveled in. So I have met people from everywhere in all walks of life and got to hear their stories, and I've made some really good connections with women. But also when you make these connections in the lifestyle, you get to live authentically. And I think it is still kind of hard because I do live a separate life too, where, I work a lot of my kids' schools and I do a lot of, activities with them, and I live a very like non-monogamous life. But getting to meet these women and have girls' nights and don't even involve always playing gets you get to be authentic. You get to tell people about your stories, tell people what you're doing, not having to hide it. And I'm very fortunate that I have some vanilla friends that I don't have to hide anything I do either. They love to hear stories and they have no problem. They follow my platforms. They know what I do. They like to hear about it. And it's not their thing, but they're not judgmental about it. They're open-minded. And I'm working on it. I'll work on some of my single friends, bringing them to the dark side. But so yeah, getting to just kind of be authentic though with people who have experienced it with their partners. Like I just had a girls' night this weekend, and it was just so nice to sit around and not feel like there's nothing you can't say, and you could share spicy stories and talk. Like some of us in the room had played before, and talk about things with each other's partners, and I don't know. So for me, it's just getting to kind of like be authentic and have that. And there's not really like that jealousy or weirdness, but you can also talk about those things. Like if you're having a problem with your partner, because they all understand, they've all been there. They've been unicorns. They've been, with couples, they've been with other women, things like that. So I don't know, for me, that's just been a really nice part, is more the community aspect. Like I have said before, like it's not just the sex. That's not all I'm after, in non-monogamy. And so it's just given me this like, this freedom to connect with people. And so you kind of just create this sisterhood with women who understand you and understand what you're going through and why you're kind of in this, like where you're at in your journey. And So yeah, for me, it's that part's been fantastic and makes the lifestyle more sustainable long term. There are definitely times I go through where we don't play. Like right now, we're kind of on like a low with the playing. We haven't really been trying. We had kind of a high summer, and now we're just kind of on a downswing, we call it, and not really taking a break. It's just not, we're not really making an effort. It's just if it happens type of a thing. We're really focused on our other journeys and the projects that we're working on and business. And we have a new studio here, it's my new podcast studio that I'm in. And Eric has his own. So it's been really fun, like new projects and where this journey has taken us. But I still get to hang out with my friends and go do things with the community that I've made. So that part of it, I think, is just so great for women to find a community. And there's other, it's just like anything else. You're a new empty nester. Maybe you take up, I don't know, pottery, or you take up yoga, or and you meet a community there. Well, I just happen to meet a bunch of swingers. But also on the flip side, I will make sure to note that it can be toxic. And because there are feelings involved, there are emotions involved, no matter how much you want to say there's not, or try to, keep everything like chill. There definitely can be drama. And I think especially on like the business side, we've seen a lot of drama over the years. And so we just steer clear of anyone that we feel like is drama and really only stick with like authentic connections. But it can be kind of cliquey and catty at some of these clubs and stuff, but we just choose to stay away from all of that. And yeah, just find people that you vibe with and that you're comfortable being around, and there's no weirdness, because it can make the journey a lot less fun. I've definitely gone through phases where I'm like, fuck this, I fucking hate these people, and I've distanced myself from groups or clubs or events. But I've definitely found a handful of women that I can trust, I adore, and have really changed my life and helped me like become who I want to be. Well, another thing about non-monogamy is the self-discovery and the exploration that you get to do, and just the empowerment. So non-monogamy is a choice, and you make a choice to do it or not do it. You get to make a choice who you share your body with. You don't owe anybody anything. So when the more you go on in your journey and the more empowered you feel to make these choices, make this, set these boundaries for yourself. And of course you have a partner and you set your boundaries with your partner, but I'm really talking about the self journey that non-monogamy can be for women, that you get to set these boundaries and make decisions for yourself. And for years, my entire life revolved around making decisions for everybody else, partners and kids and everything that was going on in my life and work and all of that. And this is kind of that outlet that you get to be in control of yourself, and you get to make those decisions and feel empowered. And for a lot of women, depending on their relationships, may have never felt that they got to kind of feel that way and, be just authentically who they wanted to be. So this journey for a lot of people all of a sudden just gives you this new sense of belonging and, what you feel is right for you. A lot of women, society always tells us that we're supposed to, yes, be good. We're supposed to be good women and quiet and respectful, and be respectful, but you know what I mean. So it gives us just this new, like, owning yourself, owning your sexuality, and owning who you want to be. So yes, I don't think non-monogamy is for everybody, but I think that it can be extremely empowering, even just your own sexuality, and even if it's not bi, even if it's just getting to, exploring with, like, I've had women who were in vanilla relationships for years I've met, and they, never even used toys or never got to explore their desires, or sex was always just very, vanilla and mundane, and they never got to kind of express their desires. And so I know lots of women who kind of get involved in this community. They don't necessarily play with a lot of people or even play with other women, but they just get to kind of like be sexy. They get to dress up and just kind of own and embrace their like sexiness and that freedom without judgment. Because I feel like there's even a trend going around on TikTok right now, and people are like, I don't dress like a slut because my future husband. Fuck your future husband. You want to surround yourself. If you want to dress slutty and go to a club, you need to surround yourself with people who are going to empower that, not with people who are going to bring you down. And so that's what's awesome about the lifestyle. And I know people that just go to clubs with their partners or even single just to dress up, dress sexy, and not even do anything. They don't even swap or do anything sexual. It's just strictly to like feel sexy and empowered, and that can leave you on a high for a like, you know, like we always say, we fill our bucket. We'll leave a club and have a sexy night, and it's like, man, we're on a high for a while in our relationship and myself. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling sexy. You know, we're in a good place. Like, it could definitely do a lot for your self-esteem and your confidence when other people are flirting with you, telling you you're attractive, men or women. And so just overall, as especially as you age, getting older, getting to kind of like age and, you know, be with other people like that can just do wonders for your confidence and self-esteem. So yeah, so if you're ever curious about kind of exploring this sexuality or this lifestyle and your sexuality, if you're new to it, definitely come check out Unicorn Landing. It was a safe place created for women to connect with other women, to find, like, when I started this, I wanted to find women like me and people who wanted to also go on this journey. And so that was one of the reasons I created. So definitely come check us out. And thanks for listening to my podcast about women thriving in non-monogamy. And stay tuned for our next episode.